Today we have a very important session with extremely important data to be presented. Data coming from the global burden of disease exercise. This is something that has been a long-term work, long-term commitment, and I have the pleasure of having with me today Professor Hugh and Professor Rupert Bourne that have been both very much involved in that exercise. Professor Bourne, you have been leading the expert group over this period of time. Would you tell us a little bit how it came, how it was developed, how it worked, what was new with all that?
Yeah, of course. Essentially, back in 2008, there was a call by the Lancet for those individuals who are interested in contributing to the global burden of disease study within vision loss. So that resulted in 80 individuals, mostly ophthalmic epidemiologists from around the world, coming together as a group. It's very much a multinational collaboration, and that group have been involved in defining how the study would be designed, and essentially to look at the prevalence of vision impairment and blindness, the amount of vision impairment and blindness around the world, by using all the available published and a lot of unpublished data to come up with these estimates. And so the study has been going on for since 2008, and now we have the estimates together in a global database, and this builds on work that has been done in the past.
There have been a number of studies presenting global figures regarding blindness and visual impairment. In what extent these new data are different? What is new?
Well, there have been a number of studies, as you say, over the last 30 years or so, taking the best available data at that time to try to derive the estimates. What's new about the current data is the comprehensive data sets that have been able to be brought in. There was something like 14,000 different papers and reports that were examined to see if they could contribute to these estimates. And then there's been new analytic methods so that all the data from all the papers that were eligible was be able to be included, so that even if papers studies use slightly different methodologies or definitions, they could then be adjusted to add to this. So this is by far the most comprehensive assessment of data from around the world, analysed by country and by region, to give a much better and more precise estimate than previously possible.
And are the numbers going up or down? What are the kind of take-home messages that the people should get?
Well, this study has involved looking at all published data and unpublished data from 1980 onwards. So it's an incredible resource of 32 years worth of publications and of data. And what it's showing is that the age standardized prevalence of blindness and of moderate and severe visual impairment is declining over the last 20 years. When you look at 1990 and 2010, so this is a very, very interesting finding, and it's presumably because of the interventions over those years to reduce blindness worldwide.
Excellent. I think this is absolutely terrific news. But is there any kind of further work that is needed in terms of analysing the data further?
Well, it's a huge data set, and there is still quite a lot of work to do just to describe the prevalence of blindness and the causes of blindness in the different countries and the different regions. And so that's analysis that's still to be done at the moment. Most of the data is looked at just the global figures and some of the regional figures, so that to drill down in more. But then there's also a lot of other data that can be looked at in terms of the socio-economic determinants of health and environmental determinants, so that there will be a lot further analysis to do. It's such a huge data set that'll take a long time to work through it all.
Fantastic. But I mean, there's been all this work to collect this information that is now kind of up to date right now, but what will happen in the next years? Is this the people who will need to do the same will have to restart from scratch, or is any plan to keep the things kind of going on?
Well, the plan is very much to keep things going on, and that's been one of the problems in the past, is that you have these very big projects which last for a few years, and then they finish, and nobody knows where the data is. So the point of the current project is to make sure that this global database is added to year on year, and we have some funding now to enable us to do that, to maintain that database, and also to allow an internet portal such that people can visualize this data and follow it and look for country-specific or certainly region-specific information, which would help them for advocacy and for planning.
I think this is all very important information, because two important things I think need to be taken into consideration. One is that we have a new set of data that are obviously of very good quality, and number two is that this exercise is something that will continue, and that exercise will also allow people and the countries and the national coordinators and the NGOs to have open access to all this very important information.